Boy, that song gets repetitive and redundant. Does it not? Yes, I think it does. Well, we got something a little less repetitive and a little less redundant to start the show. Hope y'all can hear me. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. I got my boy Philip in the back room waiting on me. He'll be here to join me in just 1 minute. Let's get to this. Damn it.
Welcome to Rocky Top.
At the 12, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. It is a touchdown, Big Orange.
Boy, we got us a big game this Thursday. We're going to talk all about it tonight. I haven't had Philip on here. I haven't seen Philip in over a week, and it's good to have him back tonight to give me some numbers and talk about the numbers of this game. Talk about Oklahoma's numbers and blah blah blah, and all their blah 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 stats and what have you. But we got to get to all of that, and we will. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Appreciate you joining me. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday night. 2 more days until the most anticipated game in Tennessee. Well, not Tennessee history. I wouldn't go that far. There's been some pretty big games. But it's definitely the most anticipated game this year. It's probably, I would say it's the most anticipated game in Josh Heupel's coaching career. And there's a lot at stake for both teams. We're going to talk about it all tonight for the last time before Saturday night, and I stream the game. Should be fun. I'm planning on streaming the game. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, without further ado, let me get my boy Philip in here and let's get this thing started. What's going on, Philip? How you doing?
What's up, BVD? Ready to talk some football, man. 2 days away.
How you been?
Busy, man. It's been crazy with work and kids and you name it. I've been doing it. So
I hear you. I've noticed, but hey, it's understandable. Can you think of a bigger game in recent history than this one?
Georgia 2022.
That was a big
Within the
one.
last, I mean, if you want to post COVID,
I'm just everything surrounding, the Josh Heupel stuff. This one's huge, man. I mean,
yeah, I get more nervous about games like this because we're supposed to win these games.
right, and
So,
we should win this game.
Yeah.
But whether we will or not remains to be seen, as they say.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you want to talk about tonight? Let's get to you right off the rip.
What I want to talk about, well, I think I'd like to talk about kind of the matchups that will probably tell the tale on who will win this game. And from the Tennessee perspective, I'm really interested to see how our running game, that I think it's either second or third or in the country as far as offensive rushing. I think we're averaging over 300 yards a game. I mean, played 2 cream puffs, beat at NC State. So a lot of people are going to say you haven't played that, but I want to see how it does against.
You played 3 cream puffs, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see how it does against this Oklahoma. Oklahoma is very elite on defense. Now, their offense, I'm not sold on their offense. I think they got a lot of issues, and I think we will probably control that part of the game, their offense.
I don't know. Arnold scares me, but go ahead.
Well, I mean,
his feet scare me.
Yeah, I respect Arnold, but if he doesn't have the line, it'll give him time. This is what I will say. I'll get this out of the way right now. I'm going to make a very bold statement. James Pierce Jr. is going to have a massive game. Every sign points to him having a couple sacks, 3-4 tackle for losses. You will see him make a huge presence because this dude's only got 1 tackle this year, BVD. 1 tackle in 3 games. They've kept him. They kept him in the stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll have a huge game, but I want to see how our offensive line and how they do against their defensive line and linebackers because they have a really good defense. I want to see if Oklahoma loads the box and makes Nico throw. If we struggle to run the ball, you will see Heupel probably have Nico try to keep that ball a lot, in that read zone, whatever. I think you're going to see Nico run a lot in this game.
What is our backup's name? His name, when I was making a video today, I couldn't think of his name for the life of me. Come on, spit it out for me.
The backup for Oklahoma?
Oh, for us.
Oh, Gaston Moore?
No, the backup running back.
Bishop?
Yeah.
Deshaun Bishop?
Deshaun Bishop, yeah. That dude, man, he could be a factor in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was Kent State. I get it. But humans are humans, bodies are bodies. These kids are all athletes, and they can move. Some of the moves he made in that game to just zip right past people, we haven't seen that in a while at Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people are saying, oh, you've played cream puffs. Let me tell you, they did exactly what they're supposed to do against cream puffs. That's exactly that's what a good team looks like against a bad team. That's exactly what it looks like. There's been a lot of Tennessee teams that have played those teams and won 17 points. We took care of business the way we were supposed to.
Been a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's been games recently where we should have won by 30 or 40 points. We struggled to win. Austin P., how you doing? Games we lost. I know that was quite a few years back. Georgia State, BYU. This team, like you said, is doing exactly what they should do. Now, should they be scoring 70 points a game? That's debatable, but debate about it all you want. Josh Heupel scores points, and your job is to stop him. That's what Spurrier used to always say. That's what BBD's saying. If you can't stop him this Saturday, he's going to try to score 60 or 70. I mean, probably not going to happen on that defense. Definitely not going to happen on that defense. But he's damn sure going to try because that's what he does. And I can't wait to see it, man. I mean, I personally have been salivating over this game all off season. Can't wait. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say I have called us beating Oklahoma when it wasn't popular. I mean, I think most people in the preseason had said that they think Oklahoma is going to win this game. I think for the most part, there's probably some people that said Tennessee would win. I thought Tennessee would win just because of the matchup with our front seven against their offensive line. The one thing that does worry me just a little bit, if I'm nitpicking here, Brent Venables is a great defensive mind. I remember when he was at Clemson, and I remember when Clemson played against LSU in that 2019 national title game. He threw Joe Burrow, and it don't get no better at quarterback in college than Joe Burrow. I remember he threw some exotic looks at Joe Burrow, and he had people coming from every which direction. So Brent Venables is a guy that can disguise looks, and he can make life rough for Nico Iamaleava. So I was just going to say he can do it. And I don't want to see how Nico handles that pressure with the different looks and what he'll throw at them, because he got some of it against NC State. But Brent Venables, he's a whole other level. He's as good as it gets as far as dialing up stuff.
And I fully expect him to throw everything at us Saturday. I mean, he's going to have guys coming from every which direction, trying to rattle Nico, maybe even trying to get him out of the game. 4 games in to Nico's career, he has not had a bad game yet. He's had a couple of games, where people say, oh, he wasn't at his best. Whatever. He hasn't had a bad game yet. And that's what people want to see. And it's coming. Don't know when it's coming. It may be this game. Talked about it today. If he has a bad game today, there's plenty of players around him to pick him up and carry us through this game. I just think we can and should out Jimmy and Joe them. I just think we got more better Jimmys and Joes than them. They're on the way up, but I think we're on a whole different level right now, emotionally, psychologically, whatever really you want to put on it. I think Tennessee's on that right now, and it should be great to watch.
Well, and I think they're going to win this game for Josh Heupel. They're not going to come in with no half-ass effort. They're going to be focused, and it's college game day. It's going to be their side. They're going to be amped up, and I think our defensive line and our front seven are going to have a really good game. I can't see. I just can't picture anything where they do anything against us with their offense. I can paint a picture where they give us fits with their defense with some different looks that they give us. And I can see some things where we make turnovers, and that's the only way we get beat is by committing
turnovers, yeah.
And that kind of thing. Now, I will say this. They're number 2 in the country in turnover differential. They're +8 this year. We're only +1. Yeah. So got to take care of the football. And you can't give them short fields. You can't give up punt returns, kickoff returns. If we just play good, we win, period. But if we play bad, yeah, we can lose.
The thing that scares me most, like I said earlier, is Jackson Arnold's feet. If the play breaks down, it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, whatever, and a pass play breaks down, he's the kind of guy that can and will beat you with his feet. Pick up that 15 and move the sticks. That's what worries me the most. And
Did you know he's their leading rusher? Did you know he's their leading rusher this year?
It doesn't surprise me.
That's
at all.
Not good though. That's not
right.
Good.
It's not good. We should have bodies coming from every which direction too.
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Banks is just going to sit back and let Brent Venables do all the work.
That's a great point you just made. Great point, because I don't think we showed anybody anything. They've not seen any looks for us to get ready, right? We've been very basic defense. So great point by you to point that out that, yeah, we've not shown anything.
Oh, come on, Hudson Dean. Let's not start that now. It's not going to be anything like that game whatsoever. They could, you know, Jackson Arnold could go off, but I just don't think I don't think they're equipped to have that kind of game. I don't
I
even
think,
think they
yeah,
think that. What are you
yeah.
gonna say?
I was just going to say they're. I think you said it well. I don't think they're equipped to do it.
Yeah,
He will not have enough time to locate those receivers. And this Tennessee team is better than the 22 team. Yeah, I said it. This 24 team is better than the 22 team. And how can you say that, Philip, with 3 games? Well, I'm saying it. They're better than the 22 team. They're better defensively by a landslide. And offensively, it's a toss-up. The 22 team is probably better throwing the ball with Hyatt and Tillman, but Tillman didn't play much in 22. He's hurt.
I don't even know. I don't think we've seen enough yet to determine the throwing the ball part.
Correct. Yeah, that's fair enough because, like they've been playing to halftime, right? So we don't really
Yeah,
know that, right? I'm just making assumptions
right.
because Hooker was so good throwing the ball and he was seasoned. But I think we're going to be definitely better at running the football this year than we were in 22. Tennessee is by far a better team this year than we were 2 years ago. We're deeper. Our defensive line wasn't near this deep than we were in 22. And we're playing 12 guys on the defensive line.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time since Tennessee's been able to say that. And look, I've had Billy Ratliff on here, and he always talks about the defensive line. And it's true. If you don't have a defensive line, you ain't got a team. And we've got one. We've got enough defensive linemen to make up 2 or 3 teams.
They said they're on their 4th center. Did you hear that?
No.
Their 4th center is start. Yeah, their offensive line was bad coming into this year, but they're banged up on
Yeah.
top of that. And you're going against, I'm going to say it, the best defensive line in football. I'm saying it.
Well, you're not the only one that's been saying that. I know Josh Pate loves some Tennessee, so you kind of got to discredit what he says, just like you discredit what Paul Feinbaum says about Alabama. But it's true. A lot of people are talking about, a lot of the big names are talking about how great this defensive line is and that it might be the best in the country. And, we'll know more as we get a few games into the year. But so far, 3 games in, it sure has been fun to watch. And I hope it continues Saturday. Their crowd, they're going to be amped up. And our crowd's going to be amped up at Neyland Stadium this weekend, too. We got a little something going on at Neyland this weekend. It ain't football. The big Morgan Wallen show, 2 shows at Neyland. So, whatever they call that place, I forget what the name is in Oklahoma. Turd Stadium, maybe.
Is it Gaylord Stadium? Is it Gaylord?
It's something, Lord, yeah. They'll be hooting and hollering. Neyland will be hooting and hollering. It'll be a great weekend.
Is it called Palace on the Prairie? Is that what it's short for? I
I
heard
don't
a guy
know.
that was an Oklahoma fan. He said, don't be making fun of because we call it Palace on the Prairie or something like that.
That sounds about right. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Hey, look, they're like my boy Onikuno said. It means more to them too. Football
They
means
love
everything.
football.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this too. I listened to Brent Venables talk this week. He sounds like a really likable, good dude. Like I was listening to him talk, and it's like it's hard to hate this guy. He's not a Dan Mullen or Urban Meyer.
Wasn't he almost our coach? Didn't we try to get him?
Which coaching search? I can't remember.
Oh,
which one
shit. That one I don't know.
Was that maybe back with the Butch Jones thing when we got Butch?
I thought it was the Pruitt during that time, but I may be wrong. Gaylord Family Stadium, that's what Sven says they call it. So they get, they got facilities, they got a crowd, they got all the tradition and history in the world you'd ever want. That, in fact, I would put them ahead of Tennessee, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
When you talk about blue bloods, that's one of the first names that always comes up. And Tennessee's got to win a Heisman, I think, before we get bumped up to that next elite level. And
See,
I know
a Heisman has anything to do with it.
I get that, but a lot of people do. And most of your big time programs that are top 5 blue blood programs, they have at least one. And
I don't even know what the Heisman's even standing for anymore. I don't even know what they account, because it's not even like it's the best player in the country anymore. It's just the person that's the most commercial driven. I'm like, for example, they're talking about Nico getting the Heisman. I'm like, he does not got numbers right now that would even come close to being a Heisman candidate. Now, he might, but I'm like, he's a true freshman. I'm like, that's just stupid talk to me. I don't understand why they're putting him in the Heisman conversation right now. And
he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, I want him to win it.
Yeah, I'd love for him to win it, and I think he might before he leaves. He's got 2 years, maybe, I'd say.
Well, I guess what I was trying to say was, really the only game he played in. I mean, I'm giving NC State a little bit of credit here. I'm saying they had a pulse, right? So the one team that we had a pulse, he had 2 interceptions. Now, one was kind of a fluke thing. But, I mean, to me, he doesn't warrant Heisman consideration.
No. I mean, not this soon.
He may. Now, he may, yeah.
Yeah, I know Heisman is not that important to most people, but I've always wanted to see us get over the Heisman hump. And we should have done it a couple of times by now, but we haven't. And so maybe this is the guy. We'll see. Maybe Dylan Sampson's the guy. Who knows? I mean, we got bodies everywhere that could put up numbers worthy of it. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I just want to say this real quick for the Tennessee fans in here that are listening to this, and I hope I'm dead wrong. First and foremost, I expect us to win this game, but it is going to be a rock fight. This is not going to be an easy game to win. Brent Venables is going to dial up a lot of blitzes. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. I think we pull away late, but if you think we're just going to walk in there and it's going to be 21-0 in 4 or 5 minutes, I think you're going to be disappointed. So I just think that you need to get your expectations right now. It's going to be a fight.
What if it's a tough game? 21-3, 24-3 at halftime?
Us?
Yeah.
It's over. They can't come from behind and beat us. They have to hope they jump out.
I think it could be 24-3 before halftime. I think that's a reality.
Yeah. No, we could be. We could. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that first quarter is going to be pretty darn competitive. It's going to be a grind, and it'll be 2 teams filling each other out. And Oklahoma has a really good defense. They do. And they got the personnel that can kind of line up with us. You got a good front 7. They got a good secondary. So they can give us problems. But the problem is our defense matches up really good with their offense. It's kind of a stalemate, our offense and their defense. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But our defense is much better than their offense. Huge mismatch.
Sven, don't worry, buddy. I fully intend to bring Onikuno in here. I'm sure he wants to come in and talk to us, and I will. And I know he's getting his crow video and crow speech prepared for Sunday when we come on, so he can come back on Sunday and say, I was wrong. You were right. You beat us by 30. I'm sorry. We'll see. We'll see. The word is lose. That's the word, Jerry. We're going to win, I'm assuming. Anyway, this is the first time in a while that I'm not even concerned about Greenville football this weekend. my focus is Tennessee, and I won't be able to go to that game tomorrow night anyway. I'll have to listen to it, so we should win. And I'm ready for a good weekend of football. Are you ready to talk to an Oklahoma fan?
Absolutely.
Kuno, I'm gonna bring you in, buddy, if you're willing to come in. I know you struggle sometimes to talk, and it's tough for you sometimes. But I'll give you the platform to come in and talk to us. What's up, Gump? How you doing? There's the link for you, Kuno, if you want to come in and tell us why we're going to win or why we're going to lose, and why Josh Heupel is going to go
I saw that
to Oklahoma. Yeah, that was a good video.
It was. Yeah. He's a good guy. I like him. I've been following him since he came on here, and I've been checking out his channel, and he's knowledgeable, and he's all right for a Sooner.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. He's been making videos on here as long or longer than I have. I think a little bit longer, actually. Plus, he does Dallas. I don't know if he still does the Dallas stuff or not, but
he's a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. What's up, Sean?
Oh, my God. You all got a Sophie's Choice this weekend, don't you?
We got a what?
A Sophie's Choice. Do you win the game and risk losing your head coach to the team you just beat, or do you very quietly lose in a quasi-competitive game, WWE style? You put on a 5-star match, but you put the home team over because the hometown hero always got to get the win. Hometown.
He has to,
and we'd gladly return the favor next year because we're obviously going to have a home and home like the way this is going, and so just to keep things an even keel. So,
let me ask Philip: does it bother you in the least? Let's say 3 years from now, Heupel goes to Oklahoma. Does that bother you?
Yeah.
Does it?
Well, I don't think that'll ever happen. And here's why. Here's why. Let me explain why.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Here's why I don't think it'll happen. But let me explain why. It's all about relationships. Him and Danny White have an amazing relationship. Why would he give that up? And I don't think Oklahoma will pay any more than Tennessee will pay him either. I could be wrong. I don't think it's about pay. I know it's his alma mater, but Danny White and him have got a really good relationship. Why would he go work for somebody else?
It is amazing to me how that has been kind of the mindset for a year or two now in your all's neck of the woods. And because George Stoya Sooner Scoop was on Tennessee radio this week, and they're asking how come they didn't hire Heupel, and he's like, he was not really a consideration at the time, and it just didn't happen. And it is so we have nothing against Josh, and I was happier. I was so happy for Heupel when y'all won the big game against Bama a couple of years ago. I was rooting like hell for y'all to win that game. I'm like, oh my God, this is so sorts of awesome because Tennessee finally beats Bama, and I get to hold it over Keith here. It's like it took a Sooner to do it for you, didn't it? It took a Sooner to come in and win it for you, but seriously, it's like no one in our fan base is clamoring for Heupel yet. But if we have a rough season, I guarantee you message board warriors will come on there and say something. And
Sean, do you think he would? Do you think he would? Honestly, do you think he would go back to Oklahoma if offered?
God, it's tough, man, because people like to bring up there's bad blood between. It's that shit got squashed years ago. So when people say there's bad blood, that's over with. We're still trying to find time for him to come in and sit down for our part 4 DVD series of the history of our program. And it's wear your Tennessee shirt and talk about the good old days so we can make a DVD. But no, it's if for whatever reason he decided to leave and there was an opening, I'm sure we would reach out. But I don't people
I don't think you guys would break the bank and go to all into the spectrum to get
you
it.
never know what the future holds. But what I'm trying to say is take the crazies out of your fan base who live and die over every down because I can't stand those people. Brent is doing stuff we want him to do here. Like,
I think he's a great coach.
I mean, it's the monkey's paw effect where our offense is ranked 108th right now. I was like, wait, how did that happen? And our defense is
how the hell are you guys?
We have a top
108?
25. We have a top 25 defense, and our offense is ranked 108th. It's like, you know, it literally is the monkey's paw effect. But no, it's like, we're not going to have like a super elite recruiting class this year. It's kind of like it's a really solid transition class we're working on, but 26 and 27 has got a really good head start right now. So I love where that's going. He's winning.
I think he's gonna put you guys right back on path.
Yeah, I mean, I knew going into this year that if everything didn't go absolutely perfect, it's like. That's why I was like, okay, as long as we're healthy, we can do this, this, and this potentially, but we're not healthy, so we're not likely going to do this, this, and this. So, but no, like Heupel, listen, again, if like weird things happen down the road, if Joe Castiglione desperately made the call, I'm sure he would try. I'm sure as long as you guys are winning, he's not going to go anywhere. But no, I think Brent's the guy for the job. Brent has done something we've been wanting for like 20 years, but rebuild the defense, and the offense is just. It's just been. I want to make a quick correction. Our first string center is playing this week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Okay. So it's good because like trust me, we all for the first time for this week for us anyways, and for you guys, we have SEC injury availability reports. Like I know Lance Hurd for y'all was held out last week. He probably could have played, but they held him out I wouldn't play him against Kent State either. But obviously he's likely playing. We're getting Branson Hickman back. He's been practicing with the ones all week. Thank effing God, because Josh Bates is literally. We've had two guys at center playing with one arm. Both guys had their arms injured. Garrett Hatchett had like a bad bicep. He's out for the year. He was a transfer from Washington. He got surgery, so he's done. Josh Bates is a young guy who I think is going to be really good possibly next year, but he's just still learning stuff. They had to put the left tackle at left guard to tell him what the play calls are. That's where we were at with this O-line. So now we get Hickman back. Sexton could go back to tackle. We could put the young kid Heath Ozeda at left guard, who is good. Excuse me. He's going to make mistakes, but his upside is better than what we've had before. Fabici's going to stay at right guard, and tackle is either going to be Tarquin or Jake Taylor. I'm not telling you this is going to be a Joe Morta winning combination or anything, but it's going to be a lot better than anything you've seen all year, hopefully. I love our running backs. They just need to they need to turn some of those 5-6 yard runs into 10 to 15 yard runs, if you know what I mean. They're almost there with that. Now, granted, going up against you guys is not going to help things too much, but wide receiver, we finally get Nick Anderson back. You may remember Nick Anderson as the man who scored the game-winning touchdown against Texas last year and went Super Saiyan in the end zone. He will be back finally this week. So our wide receiver core is just so banged up. Farouk is out for 6 more weeks if he comes back. Jaden Gibson.
Who the hell is Farouk? We got a Farouk too.
Well, he was the guy who made a catch on that game-winning drive against Texas last year. He was part of that deal.
Show us that beautiful OU flag back there, Kuno. What are you hiding for?
No, I'm very comfortable right now. Like I like to lay back in my chairs, and you can barely.
I hear you.
Listen, I ain't all professional looking right now.
Hey, I've been checking out your channel, and you got good stuff, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have fun today. I've been waiting to do that video for a little bit. Just like I love it because again, your fan base is like so obsessed with Heupel go to Oklahoma. It's like I gotta mess with that a little bit. I gotta poke the bear on that one. Someone's got to take the bait. I'm hoping that one gets like a bunch of views. Someone on the internet's got to find that. Like, oh my God.
Do you think our fan base is probably the craziest fan base you've run into yet?
Well, we fit right in. I hate my fan base half the time. Yeah, I really do, because everybody has this, Message Board Geniuses is like one of the best Twitter accounts of all time. There's always, every fan base has a guy on a message board, and he's not even a regular poster.
That's why I'm so glad, Sean, that I don't pay attention to none of that shit anymore.
But there's always one guy. He's not a regular. He'll pop up there. He'll write this little, what's the word? This like 5-page essay on how things are going wrong and how he feels about certain things. And it's like, nobody wants to read your soliloquy about how you feel because the coach made a bad call on 3rd and long. And all of those people show up to my live stream chat. Every single one of those people. It's like, oh, we don't convert a 3rd and 8. Oh, we're losing. It's like, look, I wasn't worried about losing to Tulane. I at a certain point when we got into the game, it's like, all right, we're not losing this game. But like,
little bit concerned there late. Little bit.
No, because the defense was doing their job. The defense, like, oh my God, the defense gave up a long drive. Okay. They weren't giving up like busted plays or anything in that game. It wasn't like, oh my God, they give up a 60-yard touchdown pass or something. That's not what was happening. The defense had to carry that game last week, but we had a couple guys out, like Dolby was out.
It wasn't Kirk Cousins with less than a minute to go.
No,
right?
But like,
so Tulane's pretty good. They about beat Kansas State the week before. They're not that bad.
Oh yeah, of all the teams we've all played collectively, it's the best team any of us has beaten.
Correct.
So
I agree.
And I'm not, and like I was on Keith's thing earlier, and he had his buddy who's like very defensive of Tennessee. Look, the two things can be true. Tennessee's non-conference is trash, but you're still a really good football team. Both things can be true.
Yeah.
So listen, we played Temple, who might be like bottom at the very bottom, like the last place team in all of the sport. So I get it. We've been down that rabbit hole.
They can't be worse than Kent State.
No,
that's the worst.
Dude, I told everybody. BVD, I told everybody, I said, put your house on that 49 points on that game. I said, they will cover it by halftime. And we beat them by 71 points. I said, literally put your mortgage on Tennessee to cover the 49 points in that game. That was the spread.
They almost had the 49 covered by halftime.
It did.
I told Keith's
buddy. Oh, I thought it was 46, but anyway.
I told Keith's buddy on here the other day, like he was trying to defend like the onside kick or whatever. It's like, look, the reason he did that onside kick was just to fuck with Brent.
Oh, Billy Cole.
That's the only reason you do that shit. You do it.
Billy's watching. He's watching
I agree.
now. He might come and get you.
That's the only reason you do that shit. But no, like I think the one thing that gave me a little, because last week I was like, man, I don't know, we're not going to beat Tennessee at this point. But the one thing that gave me a little hope, because you were talking about our defense earlier, our Mason Thomas, our one of our budding stars on the edge. I've been saying this a bunch of times. He literally air assaulted down from a Black Hawk helicopter, and he just literally ended the game single-handedly. He had like 3 or 4 sacks, a near point-blank interception, a forced fumble sack. He just like, I'm a Dragon Ball Z connoisseur. So a lot of people they overplay Super Saiyan. I like to say he used the Kaioken. He multiplied his power by 2 or 3 times that for that game at the end there. But he started to emerge. Like PJ Adebawore is finally starting to emerge. Like Grayson Holton, an interior, like. We have a pass rush on our D line now, and I'm like, oh my God, I've been wanting this for so long.
Hey, Stutzman's the best linebacker in the SEC. He's the best.
Man, he's like, I think he leads the nation in like run stoppages right now. He's just like, he's living up. So I'm so glad he came back. He and Kobe McKenzie, they're doing this crazy thing where they're putting some of our edge guys like at linebacker and for these really crazy little formations that are like unique, and it's like, holy shit, this is kind of cool. It works. But the one thing I know going in this game, we cannot put 7-8 guys in the box to try to stop the run against you guys, because Nico will fucking kill us. And I love our secondary, don't get me wrong, but like if Gentry was playing, Gentry Williams is like probably our most talented young corner, but he's Mr. Class. He can't stay healthy. Kanai Walker's good. Woody Washington's an experienced dude, but he can have his moments. They tried to play him at our quote unquote cheetah position. It's the name. It's like the all-purpose defensive player that Brent gives the name. I forget.
We did the same thing with James Pierce.
So Kendall Dolby was in protocol last week. He'll be back for this week, so he's much better at that spot right now. But no, like I love our defense, and it's going to take our defense. We have to make plays on defense. We can't just like force punts and like play field position. like, again, our Mason Thomas got to like hit Nico from behind, force a fumble, scoop and score. We got to or put Jackson Arnold in a spot where, all right, you're at the 15-yard line. If you find a lane, go. That's where we're at with the offense. And I think the crowd's going to be a huge factor. People say our crowd sucks. Like, dude, we all due respect to our crowd and everything. We rarely have a game that's worth getting up for. I mean, historically, think about it. Think of the big games that OU has had where a helmet you recognize has come to town. Now, we've had our highs, we've had our lows. Notre Dame, Ohio State didn't work out so well. When you guys came to town 10 years ago, worked out pretty well.
Don't remember that one.
Florida State came to town,
we were
worked out pretty well.
Butch Jones days.
So, again, it's just... we're going to have a couple of those. We have you and, South Carolina will be a little more interesting because you got the Beamer connection there. And then obviously Bama's come to town at the end of the year.
Please beat them.
We're not beating them right now. Not the way they're playing.
They're playing surprisingly well. They should have won Saturday.
I mean, you all got a better quarterback than they do because I think Milroe is very inconsistent. You can.
Oh, I thought you were talking about South Carolina. Sorry.
Well, I don't know what South Carolina is a mystery to me. I think we'll beat South Carolina.
They're pretty good on defense, so that should be a.
But they're undisciplined.
That should be a 6-3 game.
Yeah. See, my one hope is that if we find a way to obviously with the tight ends helping blocking or because the running backs got to do their job, we got to chip your guy. We got to chip your edge rushers a little bit to make them think twice. We got to get it's going to get a little. You said a rock fight. It's got to get a little nasty. It's like, okay, you want to try to pass rush? We'll take a penalty to make you think twice. One of those type of moments. I'm serious. Just do something to make them. I don't know if I want to go one-on-one against this guy. Just whatever you got to do. But what gives me hope if we can do that, if we can get some semblance of a pass protection, I hate to get a little quasi inappropriate here, but you all have a white guy playing safety, so that gives me hope to get a one-on-one or to get the passing game going. So that gives me hope personally.
Secondary is not our greatest strength.
Yeah, that is the one thing. So if Nick if Nick Anderson can take away, because I love Dion, but they haven't been able to stretch the field with Dion Burks yet.
He's not white, by the way, Sean. It's just the way the sun was hitting him.
Oh, I see. So okay. So when our stadium lights hit him, it's going to look a little different. But,
right.
Hey, Sean, let me ask you something real quick. Is Arnold your leading rusher? Did I hear that right? Or am I wrong?
It wouldn't surprise. I haven't looked, but honestly, it's probably true because we haven't had 100. We haven't had 100-yard rusher yet this year. Seriously, it's been rough. It's been death by 1,000 cuts with injuries and stuff. So we played running back by platoon, and it's not because guys are hurt. It's just because whoever has the hot hand, whether it's Javonte Barnes, our true fresh Taylor Tatum is going to be a superstar, true freshman running back. He was the number one running back in the country coming out of high school last year. People are desperately make him the starter. The reason he's not the starter is because DeMarco Murray, who's a running backs coach, he wants his backs to be able to do everything. You need to pass block. Pass blocking is key. You need to be able to get in there and help on the pass blocking. If you're not good at that, if you screw up on that, he's not going to play you as much, no matter what kind of a superstar you may be elsewhere. But the whole fan base wants Taylor Tatum to play because he has that ability. If you get him in the open field, he can make something happen. It is yet to we have yet to get the super big run you see from an Oklahoma back at times. So, who knows what they're going to come up with. But Jackson Arnold is able to, my favorite play from last week was the fake. It was just a simple read option with Tatum, where Tatum did such a good job at the fake that when Jackson went up the sideline, if you go back and watch the replay, Tatum was so good at faking out the other guys is that even if he had the ball, he had a hole up the middle. It was perfectly executed. The only thing that could have made it better is that if Jackson got in the end zone, he got down to inside the 20, but Jackson could run like a gazelle when he gets in the open field. He looked like he was playing in high school. Now, I don't want him to do that too much on Saturday. I like him to pick his spots because I like to have him healthy for the whole season. Or save.
What's the magic number as far as Tennessee rushing do you think for Oklahoma to win? What do they have to hold Tennessee under in rushing to win, in your opinion?
Arnold is the leading rusher with 206 yards.
That's a lot, though. That is a lot, though.
Yeah, the next guy is Barnes with 127.
Yeah,
and then Taylor's right behind him with 102.
Yeah.
Tatum, I mean.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
so if we can keep you under 150, honestly,
I think that's doable. Let's do it, because what are they giving up? 75 yards on the ground a game?
Yeah, if we can, because you guys are going to get yours at times and everything. And a useless animal's barking.
I think you got to get turnovers too, and you +8 this year in turnover margin. So I mean, it's a possibility.
The Temple game was just like it was a clown show for Temple. It was just like, how many turnovers did we force today? Is there a record? Like I was serious. Did we make a record or something today? But we got 2 with Houston, and then we got like a 1 or 2. I think we got 2 with Tulane.
Nico,
Oklahoma
take care of the ball.
Oklahoma is averaging 159 and giving up 77 yards a game rushing.
I was 2 off. Okay.
Hey, we're in the plus. How about that? Good for us.
Do you think they have let me ask you this. Do you think that Oklahoma has the personnel to not put any extra in the box and stop Tennessee with rushing, where we spread you out wide? Do you think they have the personnel to do that?
We finally have depth at the nose tackle or 3-tech guys for the first time in like a long time, whether it's like former Tennessee Vol Dejon Terry being one, Dominic Williams, who transferred from TCU. And, so we'll do 3 or 4 down linemen, I'm certain. Well, I don't know if they're going to try with 3. I mean, because they really haven't shown that for the run defense this year very often. But I love Dejon and Dominic. True freshman Jane Jackson has been fantastic so far this year. His floor, he came in with a super high floor. Jane Jackson is a true freshman. Like, he was teammates with David Stone, who's a 5-star, who plays a little bit, but he's just like, not every 5-star is ready year 1. He's going to be really good probably next year. He'll get his spots at times. But the linebackers are just outstanding. So Danny Stutzman calling the plays and calling the reads. That dude knows where to make his point of attack and just make the most out of it. So
he also tackles really well too.
He's like, I think Danny's going to go down with, like, when you name the all-time greats at linebacker for OU, whether it's like Boz, Teddy Lehman, him. He's going to be on that short list.
Hey, what's the Oklahoma guy's name that you see on ESPN all the time?
Bosworth.
No.
The sheriff of Fansville. Come on now.
What's his name? Oh, no. Damn it. It's been
Dusty
10-15 years. Yes. I really like that guy.
Yeah, Dusty's good. Yeah.
I saw him last night in a video.
Dusty is the prime example of a man who got a second chance, who really fucked up in college, and he's doing well in life. So
that's good.
He got drunk at a bar one night in college and got into a fist fight and broke someone's jaw.
Hey, Sean, you call me out if I'm wrong on this, but I think Stutzman, he's got 300 tackles in his career, right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, he's in the 300 club. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's insane. That's a good football player.
Yeah, I think
in a career, I had that one night in a dream.
Exactly.
That's a football player.
I think he's close to passing Teddy Lehman. It would take a miraculous year to pass, but Boz is like 400 plus. So
and he did that in 3 years, didn't he?
Yeah, because he didn't play his senior year because of he would have played his senior year, but he steroids were a thing in the 80s, you see, and they were okay before, but then they weren't okay, and then he wore that little t-shirt in the Orange Bowl, and that made people mad. And
you gotta watch the 30 for 30 BVD.
Yeah, it's like Boz says now is like, I should have been on that 87 team, and that 87 team was like
stacked,
was like Bama in recent years, but like those mid 80s OU defenses were like statistically the best ever. To like Bama did it. Like,
I remember those teams, man. I mean,
That 87 Oklahoma team almost beat Miami that year in that national championship game. Wasn't it?
They didn't. I mean, the score was close, but they didn't almost.
I got you.
Them. It was that was like Oklahoma had the fumble risky late that made it look closer than it actually was, and then we had the ball with a chance to go down and win, but you're not going to go down in a minute and with a wishbone, and you don't have you weren't going to do that against Miami at that time. So Jamel Holloway was hurt. He got injured. So, but even then it's like, I don't know. It's like that 87 team, if they played anybody else, probably wins the Orange Bowl going away. It's just like the joke we make with that those mid-80 teams is like for Oklahoma is like hurricane warning because we played Miami 3 years in a row. Lost all 3 times. Like two were a home and home. One was the Orange Bowl. Still got the Natty in 85 because y'all did us a favor in the sugar. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So
glad to do it.
We didn't split no title with anybody, so that was neat.
Was Aikman? He's your starting quarterback in 85. Did he get hurt?
Miami broke his leg and he was out, and then he transferred to UCLA. And then Jamel Holloway, as a true freshman, became the first true freshman quarterback to win a Natty ever.
He won the Heisman in 85.
No, but
I think you said Natty. He won the Natty. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, but Bo won the Heisman in 85.
Yeah, in 85. You're right. Yeah. My bad.
But
Bo knows Heisman's. Apparently,
we know we got lots of those. They're really cool. You should win one.
We don't. I'm still salty over the Peyton thing. I'm pissed.
You know what happened to y'all is like I try to tell people because people don't realize
that ESPN happened to us. That's what.
It was a combination of ESPN and the Michigan bias. Michigan bias is real, folks.
It is.
Like don't let it fool you. It's on ESPN. It's on Fox.
And
you can buy that with the Harbaugh love. You can buy that with the Harbaugh love fest that they had over the years. And it's like, it was just, I paid more attention to that than most people do, even though I have no rooting interest really. It was fascinating to watch. And I've heard it from Ohio State side. I've heard it from Michigan State people. Michigan, in politics, there's the blue wall, but in the state of Michigan, there's the blue wall that protects Michigan and the media. Michigan had all sorts of stuff that got very quietly swept under the rug that not too many people talked about over the years. They had turns out Michigan had
they're still sweeping, Sean. They're still sweeping.
Yeah, I know. They had their own Penn State level scandal, but nobody talks about it. Except the assault happened to grown men or football players. It didn't happen to children or women, so no one really talked about it as much with their creepy team doctor who liked to get a little handy with football players.
I've seen that a lot. One or two, just one or two.
Yeah, so Michigan bias is real. It's out there. It's like it's the same thing with Texas. That's why I said if Michigan was a little bit better this year, that Texas-Michigan game would have been like, if it was like actually a better game, they would not stop raving about it. But
they're still slathered all over that.
Yeah, Texas is number one for beating a overrated, shouldn't have been in the top 10, just worse on offense than we are Michigan team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm glad they're number one. I hope we get to play them when they're number one. I look forward to that game in Dallas. Please keep them number one. I beg of you, keep them number one. I think
Georgia's glad they're number one right now too.
What happened there? Can we talk about that for a minute? What happened in that game?
They have no explosive playmakers right now. They just don't.
Yeah, and I said in the preseason, I said if I had one concern about Georgia, I was worried about the receivers. Like who they're going to throw to. And I don't know of any. Dominic Lovett, that's like the only guy I know that's kind of their go-to guy. Outside of that, and they lost Raw Thomas.
Yeah, that was huge. I knew they were going to miss Brock Bowers a little bit, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, I mean they got a good quarterback. Carson Beck's really good, but
like I still give him benefit of the doubt. But it's just like, man, it's like, and I don't want to hear that. You don't just walk into Kroger Field bullshit. Like, no, this is
who the hell says that anyway?
Oh, I've heard some propagandists like say that.
There's never ever been any fear of anybody walking into that stadium.
No, I literally heard who is it? It's the Crane and Company douchebags who all sit in the cuck chairs on the internet show.
Yeah.
You don't just walk into Kroger Field. I'm like, shut the fuck. Everybody walks into Kroger Field and gets a win. Yeah, it's like they're trying, because you have to understand, OU specifically and Texas to an extent we've been constantly mansplained about how hard the SEC is. And it's like, bro, we know, but we don't mind if you hype up going to Neyland, going to Death Valley. We don't mind. Like we get that.
Yeah.
When you start trying to tell me Kroger Field and shit like that, that's when I go, all right, motherfucker, look.
Very valid.
I'm just like, stop it. Like
Kroger Field's no different than Texas Tech.
You don't just walk onto Dudley Field in Nashville and get a win.
Well, they conceded, Vanderbilt, but it's like, but it's like, good Lord, guys, it's like treating us like we're the kid who runs the Ferris wheel at the county fair. I mean, come on now, seriously, give us a little bit of credit here. And look, I understand we're going to get our asses kicked a couple times this year. We walked in knowing it's going to probably happen. Like, now there could be some weird things that happen too, but it's like again, it's just like this is why I've been looking forward to this year. But it's like we were a little.
Well, I know you have, because
I wanted to see if y'all didn't take Lance Hurd from us in the we were fighting for him in the portal too. If we would have had Lance Hurd, I feel a lot better right now. But you guys are mean. You guys use that Dish Network money for your boosters to get him. That's what I saw. I know what y'all doing. Got your
whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes.
Who you got? You still got to play Missouri, Emma, Ole Miss, right?
Oh, don't worry. No matter how I can
Texas,
we can walk in as quadriplegics and we'll still beat Missouri. I'm looking forward to beating them. Now, so after we got
wait a minute, walk in as what?
Quadriplegics. No four limbs that don't work. We'll still play Missouri.
They didn't look good this past week.
I know, and it gets me excited to go there when we do.
and that's another place that's not.
And look, there's a lot of teams so far that have a game where they haven't looked good.
I'll take some L.
I think a lot of people are counting a lot of teams out way too soon.
Like I'll take some L's this year, but like if you promise me we get to beat down Missouri, that will make me smile. It really will. Because I want to smack some bitches around in Columbia. We got Auburn on the road next week, who they don't have a functioning quarterback apparently.
Yeah,
so
they don't have a pulse.
Defenses travel from what I was told as a child. So if Cal could go in there and beat them, I feel good about our chances. And then we play Texas at Red River after a couple weeks after that. So. But and please be number one. Please be number one. Please be number one in 3 weeks.
How does Texas's D look? I mean, I know everybody talks about their offense.
No one's like they haven't played anybody. Yes, you heard me. I don't care if they went from Michigan. They won. They haven't played anybody. Michigan's trash, and anybody who tries to convince me otherwise, no, they are garbage. Now, did they beat a trash team like they're supposed to? Absolutely. But don't sit here and tell me you beat somebody.
Like, well, I mean, it was 30. What was it? 31-2. 32. I mean, not.
They won 35 to something.
It wasn't that impressed. I wasn't as impressed as everybody made it sound.
Yeah, Michigan looked worse than Texas looked good. I mean, Texas looked okay.
No, I knew Michigan was in trouble when I listened to local radio saying, we got reports on the quarterbacks between Orgy and the other guy, and Orgy can't throw, and the other guy's a walk-on. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, those are our quarterback options. Oh, they screwed.
That reminds me of Tennessee when we had like Justin Worley in that bunch. Golly, we were awful. God. That was the quarterback that played against Oklahoma in 2014.
Oh God, that was him, wasn't it? That was because they played of course the game this week. They have been playing a bunch of throwback because of 10 years ago. They played the Julian Wilson like 100-yard pick six and everything. I'm just like, I remember I was so mad that game didn't get game day because they went to some FCS game that week, and I'm like, how the hell do you not go to a helmet game? Like, I know it's not like 1 versus 5 or it wasn't that, but it's like, come on, it's like it was like the only helmet game that was cool that week, and it's like,
We were pretty bad back then, though. So,
I know, but it was at least a helmet game. It was like it was prime time. It was
that's the only thing we took to Norman was our helmets.
Yeah,
that 2015 game. It's right up there with the worst losses Tennessee's ever had. That was 1,000,000% on Butch Jones being an absolute dumbass.
Well, we made him cry for another reason.
Well, I'll say it. I think the correct word is pussy, not dumbass.
He cost us 2 games that year. He cost us the Florida game when he said the chart told him to not go for 2.
I hate to pour salt in the wound, but that is like that Will Greer to Antonio Callaway was like my favorite non-OU play of the year because I just couldn't fucking believe what I had just witnessed. And you hear Vern with the play. Got it, Antonio Callaway. I'm like, holy shit! And then you still had a shot at the end. But
was Willie Martinez our defensive coordinator then? Was it Willie Martinez?
Oh God, we're familiar.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think. It cost whoever our defense coordinator was. It cost him his job. That play right there did. It was like 4th and 14, and we were running some BS coverage.
You all had some. And here's the thing: like, even though like you didn't like finish the way, you all had some legit dudes on that roster that year. Like Derek Barnett. You had oh God, freaking your all-purpose back, who's in the league?
Hurd and Kamara.
No, Alvin Kamara, who's I was thinking of. And it was just y'all had some legit dudes on that roster. Like both sides, like those are your dudes. We had Baker, we had Samaje Perine, Joe Mixon, Sterling Shepard, Stryker, who didn't.
He's the one who was flipping off the Tennessee fans.
Listen, when you go into that building and you win that game the way you did, you're allowed to helicopter dick all you want.
I'm fine with it. That 2015 Tennessee team, though, in that game, let me just show you how dumb Butch Jones is. Okay, we were like, was it this 3rd and 1? No. I think it was 3rd and 1 because he kicked a field goal. I think he had Kamara as the short yardage back in that one of those plays. Instead of giving it to Hurd, he gave it to Kamara, and Oklahoma stopped us. And I think he kicked a field goal after that.
You all made us appear to have a defense that night, which was very kind of you. Thank you. We were still like we had a couple dudes, but it's like we weren't going to be as bad as we had no idea what bad defense is till Riley took over. But
that stadium was insane that night.
Dude,
that game.
Our players who were on that team to this day talk about that game and how loud it was. They give you they figuratively give you guys your flowers on that. Like I see Jordan
Baker Mayfield especially talked about how loud they.
Yeah, like I see Zach Sanchez and Jordan Evans talk about. They said, "Dude, like nowhere." Like it was like it was so loud that like Baker had to signal up close to his guys, like not from the sideline, but he had to signal the guys like in the huddle. And so, in the moment when after the game had happened, I was like playing it. We went in there and won, but 10 years later, I could say no, man. It was like,
and man, that was one of the best video series I ever had too. Talking to the Oklahoma fans.
Key to this day, every once in a while, I still go back and watch your video of right after the game where you're standing filming right before the pick.
Oh, and just walk out. Yeah.
I'm just like, I gotta go watch that. It's just like, it's like, God damn.
And then you're Tennessee losses over the years, man.
And then you're stuck in traffic and you just have to sit there in misery and listen to the radio. It's like, I've been there before. I've been there. My dad went to OU Texas 04, 05, 06. 05, 06 wasn't fun. So we've had those like in my dad's truck, just listening to the radio going, we lost to him again. That sucks. And of course I go to Afghanistan and see the 07 game, which was a lot better, much more fun. But yeah, I know we're likely going, unless they Sankey and the schedule makers do something weird next year, but we should flip the home and home for everything we got this year. So Which means like Missouri, LSU, Auburn. Who am I missing here? I think that's it. Yeah, they'll be coming to Norman next year. So looking forward to that.
How long has it been since you've been to Norman?
I was at a game I was at the opener for 19, the Houston game. So the Jalen Hurts opener, where everyone declared him a Heisman winner in September. Ugh. And I was like, I'm an OU fan. I'm like, he's not. Oh my God, he's not winning the Heisman now. Oh my God, Jalen Hurts is so awesome. Yeah, he was. I like it. At the time, I did. Like, I grew to despise Jalen Hurts over that season because it wasn't necessarily on him. It was like Riley made him a one-man offense, and I couldn't stand it. It drove me insane. Will you get our other players involved? Please. Can you hand the ball to our running backs?
He's a great guy, and that I know of, and he's got a lot of heart.
I assume you mean Jalen.
What are we talking about? Who did I say? Jalen? I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, okay. You mean Jalen. Okay, that's good.
Who are you talking about? I'm sorry.
There were two people mentioned. The other one was our hated head coach who's out west right now, who's a bitch.
Okay.
I was like, I don't care how nice you think he is. Like,
no. Hurts, I just was never impressed with him. I don't know. I just thought he could run really well, but I just didn't think he could really read a defense very well. I mean, I don't know. I just thought he kind of looked down one receiver, and if it wasn't there, he'd run.
Well, he's not the same quarterback on the Eagles if A.J. Brown is not available.
Oh,
his numbers go down big time.
Yep.
So if A.J. Brown has a tweaked ankle or for whatever reason, like just bet against the Eagles. That's all I'm saying. But
yeah. And I don't like to say that because I like him. So it's not anything, but yeah.
Did you see the game with the Falcons the other night, Philip?
I did.
Last minute, that was crazy.
It cost me money because I took the over in that game and it didn't hit.
I watched them like all you have to do, Saquon, is catch the ball and catch the ball, and the game is over. And
God,
and they just went
choking.
boom, 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 boom. It's like it's the NFL. You have a quarterback who can do that. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to win this game.
That's why they play 60 minutes, not 60 seconds.
That's right. But But I had another fun little Tennessee tidbit for when I went to Full Sail and I went to the Dan Patrick School, and we did our little segments where we did like kind of Sports Center highlights where we got to come up with our own little. We have our spot sheet where we edit together highlights. So they gave us a Dallas Philly game, and where Philly won, and I put together and like I think Derek Barnett was a big part of the Eagles then, and we did that game, and there was another game with the Saints where Kamara was making plays. So I just kind of made it one of my gimmicks to say every time Derek Barnett gets a sack. Here's Derek Barnett gets a sack on Dak. Can I get a volunteer? It was like kind of like my quote unquote Sports Center gimmick thing, where it's like anytime a Tennessee player of note like made a play, and I got like little notes. It was like, that's good. Like, can I have a volunteer? That's good. So Alvin Kamara had another play. So I don't know. I just love saying, can I have a volunteer? Like, that's the one thing I like. A lot of the young guys didn't do. I was like, guys, if anybody makes a play and they're kind of like, just say what school they're from, add a little more. Don't just say so-and-so made a catch here and then he got so many yards. It's like, if it's a big play and he's not a superstar that everyone knows, say where he played at school. Is he a Utah Ute? Is he this or that? It's like it adds a little flavor. It gets
it does. Makes it interesting.
You're like, oh yeah, that's the guy who made that big play in the rivalry game, and like I remember him. So it's like it's the crossover appeal. So there's very few people who are into both pro and college because it's hard to have time for both if you have a life. It's like you have to pick one day out of the weekend sometimes.
Yeah, imagine watching college, pro, and having a life. Yeah.
You don't.
Tough to do.
Yes, it is difficult. I have friends like, can you do something this weekend? Nope. It's like, why not? I got work.
Yeah, I'm the same way, brother. It's football season. Do not bother me with your weddings or anything like that. Even if somebody dies, it's close to me. Sorry.
Like the best I can do, usually it's like I got to do I react to the AP poll because AP poll reactions get views. I don't know why, they just do. And I go with that, and then if Dallas is on a bye or there's no interesting games, I may go out and catch a movie or something. But for the most part, it's like I'm done. I'm done on Sundays.
I haven't seen a movie at the theater forever, but I was watching a little bit of 9/11 earlier. That looks like a good one here on YouTube. It may be an old one, I don't know, but it's
I've been trying to get out. I'm trying to get out in the middle of the week and see like the Beetlejuice movie, just so I can.
See, I have zero interest in that.
I've heard it's decent, and I grew up with the first one, so it's like, all right, I'll go check it out at some point.
I did too. I grew up with the first one, but I don't really even remember it. I remember it, Beetlejuice, the stupid Michael Keaton shit, but I just don't remember the movie.
Come for your daughter, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't see. I would have never remembered that ever. Now, Sling Blade, I can coach you some Sling Blade.
Okay. Let's see, if you stream the game Saturday, you should fake react to every play like.
Yeah.
He
First
fake react.
down.
I don't get that excited over first down unless it's the fourth quarter. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. God, I hate watching it on a 32-inch TV. I'm spoiled that way.
Who y'all got next week?
Oh shit, I don't
It's
even
a bye
know.
week. Bye week.
Of
Yeah.
course you get a bye week. We
Yeah,
got to
the
go
bye
to
week and then
Auburn, and
Arkansas.
you get the week off.
Yeah, we got to play Arkansas after that.
Arkansas could put up some
Yep.
points a little bit.
I'm kind of glad we got a bye week before them, honestly.
I like how people say we gotta play Arkansas like it's gonna be a challenge. We should go in there and
We should win.
bend them hogs over.
Well, they're 0-1
Squeal like a pig.
They're 0-1 against teams that wear orange so far. So
That game against Oklahoma State was a really, really not a very good coach game. That was bad. They blew that game coaching wise.
It's like they frankly should have won that game.
Absolutely. They had over 600. They outgained him by 300 yards in that game and lost.
Yep.
That's horrible.
Can we borrow a couple yards, Arkansas? Because since you're not putting any use to them, please.
That Kalen Green's good.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing okay without KJ Jefferson down at UCF. I'll tell you that.
You guys are watching an awful lot of college football. I mean, I get it.
Yes. That's what I do.
Maybe that's what I need to be doing. Like I used to.
I gotta be quasi knowledgeable when I talk about other teams, or else I come off as I don't want to be Sleeta who pretends to watch college football.
Yeah,
I'm a Georgia Tech fan. It's like, you don't know Georgia Tech.
Oh my God, I can't believe we won the game. Oh my God.
I can't believe the analysts. I can't believe the analysts that didn't know how to say Nico's name this week. Analysts are supposed to know that. There's tons of people this week who are like, I'm not even going to try to say his name.
I'll tell you what. You know what? If Tennessee, maybe I don't know after this weekend, but if they beat Bama or they beat you guys play Georgia too.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
I'm used to assuming divisional matchups, but that they all don't, because Georgia doesn't play South Carolina, and it's like that's what's weird to me. It's like, how does that not happen? But regardless, it's like if y'all win one of those two games, they'll start getting his last name right. I mean, people call Giannis still, so it's like
people call Alvin Kamara instead of Kamara, but it happens.
That one isn't
it happens.
We had someone on like one of the CBS sports shows, just the first thing out of his mouth. The key for Oklahoma to beat Tennessee, they got to get Drake Stoops more involved. And I'm like, oh my God, they still think Drake Stoops is on the team. And this wasn't like an off the top of head thought. They planned to say this. It was like part of their you know what they got to do? Get Drake Stoops more involved. Drake's on the practice squad for the Ravens.
I mean, I don't really even understand why people struggle with Nico's last name so much. But, all you got to do is watch all you got to do is watch the video of him saying it. It's easy.
I'm still gonna call him Nico because like I will tongue twist that if I try to say it too fast. Because it's just one of those deals. I mean, hell, he's gonna join the bloodline on SmackDown at this rate with a name like that. That's a wrestling reference for you, Keith. That's a modern day wrestling reference.
Wrestling to me is right up there with
monster trucks and
yeah. I mean, mud. I don't know. I enjoy watching the mud stuff, but the mud shows where they all get out there and rednecks all get out there and have fun in the mud and talk about how difficult it is to do this and do that. You know, boy, I really struggled getting through that deep pile of mud. It's a deep pile of mud. Push the gas pedal. You know. There's the link if any of you guys want to jump in for a little while before we shut her down.
It's going to be a great Oklahoma victory on Saturday. Cannot wait.
It's going to be a great victory for somebody.
I hope not. I've seen crazier stuff happen, though.
Somebody's really going to enjoy this. You know.
I'm going to enjoy this.
I mean, Oklahoma's playing with house money, though. They're not expected to win this game. So, I mean, if I'm an Oklahoma fan, I'm like...
Oh, no, like, I mean, granted, we had a better offense last year, but, dude, like, people are trying to hype this game up like the Texas game last year. I was like, no, it's not the same thing. All due respect. It's not the same thing. The Texas game last year was just... Everybody was picking Texas. Texas is going to do this. Texas is going to do that. I'm like, you guys are not giving us our due. You're not playing the same team last year. And it was good. That was like a game I always treasure being in the stadium for and looking right at the end zone, like right vision, right there on the 10 and watching that score. And that was like, every football fan deserves to be part of like an FU moment to not just the other team, but to everyone else. That was like one of my top 10 FU moments as a college football fan. It's like, yes!
Top 10 Florida University moments.
The term is "fuck you, Keith."
Oh, okay. Just
that would be the proper that'd be the proper nomenclature.
Yeah, but Philip's got headphones on, so his kid back there can't hear the abusive language.
Well, that's good.
You know.
I wouldn't have apologized.
I got it on mute. Yeah, you can hear me, right? I was trying to mute it because they're so loud. So sorry.
Are they both back there?
They're both back there.
I can barely hear. I can barely hear them. No.
You good? But
yeah, you good, man.
I'll be openly rooting for you against like Georgia and Alabama for what it's worth, I guess. Well, I don't know. I like Lawtide, so I'll be neutral on the Tennessee Alabama game now. Because
the three of us have all been around a long time. So
yeah, you finally got yours a couple years ago in the most epic of fashion. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, 1 out of 17. That's fair.
Well, if you want to keep counting, but everyone has. I say you split the last two. How about that?
That's the way I like to look at it. We're 1-1 over the last 2 years.
There you go.
Bama fans, shut up. What's up, Harry?
How y'all doing tonight? I'm glad to see you.
Buddy.
Good to see you. Yeah, I'm doing better today. Well, when I was making my Oklahoma video, and it had nothing to do with the video, I was watching it back, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the nausea hit me, and projectile vomit into an empty trash can. Fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's always a fun time.
That ain't no fun at all. I'd rather get beat. Well, I take that back because I got a bunch of.
And with nothing to wipe my face off while it was happening. You know,
Lord of mercy.
Bless your heart. Damn. I don't know if it's coming from the antibiotics or the infection, or it's weird. I was talking to Taylor earlier. We were having a little, video chat
conversation,
and I started feeling weird. So I said, I think I'm going to go lay down. And then we got off the Uvu, And I said, you know what? I better make my Oklahoma video or I'll
Damn.
forget and there won't be Oklahoma.
They brought Uvu back?
Yeah, yeah. That's basically what we call.
I'll never
private
forget the
chat.
day where I tried to boot that thing up a couple years after the fact. We stopped using it, and then it's like Uvu has been discontinued. I'm like, oh my god! It's like, well, what a sad day in history, or maybe a happy day because so much bullshit happened on that app. Like 10,
A lot
12
of
years
good things happened too, though. Like
Sure.
me
A lot of
spending the
stupid
night.
bullshit happened on that damn app, and I'm kind of glad it's dead.
I mean, it was a video chat. We can still video
That was
chat.
used
so-
for evil. You know how much evil was propagated on that damn app like 10, 12
Speaking
years
of
ago?
evil in video, is that damn, what's it called? It's been 2 different names where you sign on. Chat roulette. Is that still a thing? Anybody know?
I
Don't know
used
about
that
that
one time as a lark or whatever, and no, I
It
think
was
it's
called
still
chat
exists.
roulette first, and then they
Yeah,
changed
because
the name.
you have a 1 in 4 chance of seeing someone's meat, basically.
Right.
So
They
you were
changed
just-
the name, and it was still the same thing, and then that's the last I ever heard of it.
Well, I'm glad I missed that one.
What's up, LT? You never heard of chat roulette or any of that?
No.
Wow, you're
I'm
lucky.
I'm straining my brain. I used to chat.
Yeah, just
way
go back and watch an old 8 Camel Toes video.
Oh, I gotta ask y'all
this is long
because
before
I want to
YouTube.
get y'all's feedback on this. How do you feel about like your little extra ticket fee for NIL purposes or whatever they're doing for Tennessee? I know
Call
that's
it a
got
talent fee, call it
a
whatever you
talent fee or
want.
whatever it is.
The price is going up 10%. Deal with it. That's the way I look at it.
All right.
If you want to go to the game
If
and you can afford it, don't bitch about the price.
I'll tell you what, if you all weren't like as good as you are right now,
It's not just us.
it would be a different story.
don't
There would be a
just put
much
it on us.
harsher reaction.
Yeah, Florida State sure ain't trying that right now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like
Well, I'll tell you what now. When you buy some concert tickets and then get back to me about the add-on charges, holy manetti.
well, there are some services out there that allow you to see that shit before you click and go through because you think you're paying one price and then here's another $50-$60 added on for whatever fees and taxes or whatnot. And then it's like, ugh.
I miss
like,
the good old days in the 80s when I could get into a concert for $5.
Amen.
Yeah.
I go back further than that, BVD. You know what it cost me to go see the first iteration of ZZ Top back in
I can imagine.
1969. It was $3.
$3.
And it was right down here, not 5 miles from me, where the concert was held on the lake. It's crazy.
Harry, are you worried
Those are the
about
days.
George's receiving core still? I told you a couple weeks ago I was worried about George's receivers. Are you worried about them right now?
If they all get healed up, we had some. A lot of folks don't know we have what's called Bloody Tuesday, and man, it was bloody this Tuesday. So I'm hoping we got some of them that can play. Lord have mercy. Kobe Young, who's a 6'5" kid from Miami, he is a weapon. But damn it, somebody wiped him out in practice, and I'm hoping that it's not severe. But needless to say, the intensity level has been amped up just a notch in Athens in preparation for Alabama. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, just a little bit. What's up, Billy?
Hey.
You still trying to cross the 50?
Ooh, goodness.
Hey. Hey, Harry. Hey, Onakuno. Hey, VOLS.
How you doing,
You know-
How
brother?
you doing, Mr.
Billy.
Newhouse?
You won't believe this. My neighbor, I've lived here for 3 years, and yesterday afternoon out in the front yard, he's a little bit older now. He's like mid-70s. Me and him got into a heated discussion. He's from Wisconsin. He said, I've lost all respect for Tennessee for kicking that onside kick. Hold on. I said, I did too at first. I even told my wife, I said, you will not believe what Tennessee did with the 31-point lead. But when you see the explanation of it, that's part of Kent State's strategy.
Oh my God, we've been
Hypo researchers, they were ready for that. When you put 3 people up front and you got 25-yard gaps, that's the only way that you can coax another team kickoff team to kick an onside kick, hopefully that they could recover it, and it backfired and failed on him. But he said, he got so upset. I said, that was an audible on the kicker. They had seen this, and if they did it, that's what you do.
That's why you watch the film.
And then he said, well, they were passing with a 55-point. I said, that was the Forster. Oh, he stormed off. He says, that's ridiculous and everything. I said, what are you supposed to do? Go out there and tell them to lay down? I like Bobby Bowden's comment when he was accused of it. Harry knows what he said. He said, I'll tell you what. When my 4th string goes in, I'll tell them not to try to score if you won't try to tackle them. So,
well, the onside kick was pretty. It was almost cringy, because it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I know. I was just saying, but that's part of Kent State's strategy.
Yeah, I get it.
To cover the ball at the 50.
You don't need.
They've done this.
Yeah,
they've done it all year.
They came in with that strategy. Why didn't they use it early in the game?
Well, Tennessee had watched it and stuff. So when do you use it? When you have 25-yard gaps in between your guys on the front line?
I don't care if you got a 50-yard gap. When you're up that much,
please.
You don't kick an onside kick. Come on, Billy.
When you put your foot on the throat, hey, I'm like this. If they'd have got ugly, you know what I'd have told the journalists? We just gave them $1.35 million. I'll do what I want to do.
It's Kent State.
It don't matter.
It Kent State.
I think he was doing it for future reference.
Hey, let me ask you something, Onika. If
that's what I thought, Fanatic.
If Oklahoma lines up Saturday and they got 3 people on the front line on a kickoff receiving, and there's 20-yard gaps in between, guess what's going to happen?
Onside kick.
Onside kick.
Okay, but that's Oklahoma, Tennessee, and you're trying to do things to win a big game. Like, I just find it funny. You're spending all this time trying to justify it when everyone's like, all right. But I know why he did it. He did it to put it on film to fuck with Brent and every other future head coach he goes up against. Yeah. That's the main reason he did it. Yeah. That's the main 100% reason. It wasn't because, we got to put the foot on the throat of Kent State. You had the game won.
Venables ain't going to put 3 people on the front line with 25-yard gaps. Trust me. He's not going to do that.
But he did it to fuck with every future opponent.
He did it to give them something to think about. That's
exactly.
That's just it. I mean,
it was an opportunity to do it. And guess what? If it didn't work, you're still up 31-0. No.
Boy, then you really look like a jackass.
Yeah. So it's like
misinformation.
Oh my God.
That wasn't Heupel's decision. That was an audible by the kicker.
Exactly. That's my next point.
Who taught the kicker to do it? Who taught him how to do it? I learned it from watching you, Dad. I learned it from watching you.
He was coached up well.
I learned it from watching you.
It worked too.
Special teams watches film too, dude.
There you go. Special teams had to get in the action.
Yeah, that's bad. Now that I'll give you, Billy. They needed some leg work, so to speak.
You got to, you have rare opportunities in game situations against somebody other than yourself to experiment, to use things down that may be needed to pull out that quiver down the road, when times are right. So
reminder that it's only classless because we did it.
Yeah.
Well,
I just think it's funny that it's Thursday and y'all still trying to justify or just like keep going?
Oh,
Just like,
we ain't
let it go.
justifying it.
Let it go.
Dave, look,
You're the one that brought it
Oh,
up
Have you ever coached?
I did not bring that up.
early
That
in the
wasn't
show.
me.
You did back it up. Yeah, you did.
I didn't. When did I bring up like going for the onside
onside.
kick?
And I'll tell you another thing. Every channel, I've seen it 2 nights in a row. I'm not going to say the YouTube channel, but 2 nights in a row, the same person has brought up. Have you seen where Tennessee tacked on a 10% fat tax? First of all, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not a tax. They, like AD White said, we're going to raise the price of tickets. And you come up with this idea. Trust me, by Halloween, Oklahoma will be doing it. Georgia will be doing it. Everybody will be doing it when they get ready to raise the price of the tickets. So all the players get
Your
the money.
friends jumped off a cliff. Are you going to do it too?
Is anybody in here a brain
What,
surgeon?
what is that?
Real quick, real quick.
Bro, I'm just messing.
Hold on. Real quick, is anybody in here a brain surgeon?
I may not be a brain surgeon, but my daughter just got qualified to clean up shit at a hospital. So
Okay, that was
I'm
just me
close.
asking in another way. Is anybody going to the Tennessee game? That's all.
No.
Only brain
Hoghead
surgeons
is-
can afford it.
Hoghead's down there.
Tell them.
Yeah, Hoghead's down there.
He's put the videos up, man. It's pretty cool. I'm
Like,
proud.
Oh, he
I'm
has?
proud for him.
Has he?
Yeah, he's got videos where they went across the Mississippi into Arkansas, and then with them entering Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
man. I haven't
Yeah,
checked since, but I had alerts on those.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know Hoghead had a channel.
Yeah, him and his wife are on the way over there, and they're
Yeah, I knew
having
that. I
fun.
knew all of that.
Yeah,
What's
they're
his
just-
channel name?
I don't know that he has a channel. It was on Facebook.
Oh, okay, okay. He may not have a channel then. Okay.
It's under his name on Facebook.
Let's see,
Yeah.
updated availability. The updated availability report is out, and nothing's changed. So
Mark my words,
Yep, this
Saturday.
is a conference game. They got to do it.
Now, mark my words, Saturday. And Oni Kuno, he's made us aware of in the status report all the injured players and stuff.
Speaking of which,
If Tennessee rolls Oklahoma, you're going to hear people say, "Well, Tennessee still hasn't played nobody. Their players were hurt, and their wide receivers are out, and their offensive line was out. And they should have rolled them, and they still ain't played nobody."
I'll be the first one to say that.
I know.
Well, I mean, you're acknowledging the fact. That's a fact.
Well,
That's how people
I don't
do
care
it.
what they do. I just want to win. I don't care how they beat them.
Yeah, I mean, it comes
I don't
down to
care if the
that.
grandma has to be the quarterback.
I know at least one. There's at least a couple of y'all in this room who lay awake at night staring at the ceiling, thinking of Sterling Shepard as he flew into the end zone on that one in overtime. that beautiful picture of him just up in the air, just like dodging tackles and diving hitting the pylon. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Well,
Absolutely.
Harry's a little bit older than me, and we've talked about this before. You know, if Tennessee gets blown out Saturday, it is not going to change. The sun's still going to come up.
Can we arrange that?
Absolutely.
Tennessee
My
getting blown
son-
out? Can we
I don't know
arrange
about
that?
that.
Is
I don't
that
know
possible?
about that.
Anything
The
can
sun will
happen.
still come up. If you think I'm going to start crying on YouTube and throwing stuff and everything,
Oh, I will.
I could care less.
I'm trying
we
to
don't-
make money this year.
Harry
throw-
knows what I'm
Billy's too
saying.
old for that
I'll throw
shit.
some shit.
I don't
Oh.
know. Troy's
I'll
not
jump
too
out of
old.
a window if we get blown out by Oklahoma.
I've been watching Tennessee Vols since 1967, so I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I bet.
seen it all.
1960. We beat y'all in '67. That was a good year.
No, we won the national championship, I think, 67.
Yeah.
Truth be known.
After we beat you in the Orange Bowl, that's interesting.
Yeah, hey, who
That's how they
cares?
used to do
We'll
things.
take it. We'll take it. We'll
That's
take
how
it.
they used to do it. They would give you
As
the
far as
national.
I'm concerned, that championship belongs to us. We were a one-loss team, Orange Bowl
Isn't
champion.
it funny how they
Forever.
did that? They declared the national champion, then you go play your bowl game, which they
That's
had
so
nothing
weird.
Well,
to do with the rankings.
Well, the AP got smart in the '60s and started doing it after bowl games. The UPI coaches poll or whatever didn't do that till like the mid '70s because they smartened up when they realized that coaches poll gave Bama the '73 title, then Notre Dame beat them in the Sugar Bowl, and the AP gave it to Notre Dame. They're like, all right, we're going to stop. Bowl games count now.
Well,
Alabama kept losing games.
as a 12-year-old kid in 67, I could see how biased the AP was and all this stuff. When you got Notre Dame always ranked, and this is back when they played 9 games, and 3
Right.
of their games was
But Notre Dame beat
Army,
people
Air
back
Force,
then,
and
though.
Navy. Army, and Navy, and Air Force. A
3
third of their
guaranteed
schedule.
wins.
3 guaranteed wins.
That's two of their teams this year, Billy.
I know. Mark my word. You've heard it here first. If NIU wins their conference, Notre Dame, even with one more loss, will be in the playoffs. Mark it down.
Oh, you don't. My dream scenario. I want Notre Dame to get that 5 spot, and NIU to get that 12, and then we have a rematch in South Bend.
It's
I don't,
coming.
I don't think NIU wants
I would
that.
laugh my ass off if that happened.
Notre Dame ain't going to no playoffs.
You watch.
Yeah, Notre Dame's got you want to talk about Michigan bias, and there's a huge Notre Dame bias.
Every single year on ESPN, when they talk about the championship contenders, they always bring up Notre Dame, no matter how bad they were the
To be
previous
fair,
year.
they
Notre
don't
Dame's a
always
good
do
team
Notre
this
Dame.
year. I know they sucked the previous 17 years, but man, this year, man,
the
this year,
bloom on the
they really
I
turned it
will say
around.
this: there is Notre Dame. Like whenever Notre Dame has a pulse, people get excited, but it's not every year. So I will give credit where credit's due. The bloom on the rose has faded somewhat. Not for Michigan though. Like there are certain programs. It's like Michigan, Texas for certain. Let's hype Texas up every year, and Ohio State gets a lot of hype, but at least they consistently are in the hunt. I'll give the Buckeyes credit there, despite how you feel about the head coach or whatever. There are certain glamour programs, whether they're good or not, will get attention because they have a huge fan base or a TV market or whatever it may be. Like that's why they say stupid shit like, "Is Oklahoma going to be the new Nebraska?" Because they don't want to talk about us anymore. Because we're not a major market. We're not we're not as big as like those other programs I mentioned when it comes to numbers.
You are in the Dallas market, though, right?
Yeah, but that's not. You have to realize that we're not in the state of Texas, though. So they want to talk about Texas more than they want to talk about
Oklahoma's not in the state of Texas. I didn't know that.
Georgia's in
Hang on,
Florida.
let me write that down.
Georgia's in Florida, dumbass.
I can remember a day back in the 60s, late 60s, was SMU was. Well, I lived in Austin, where University of Texas was, and they were but SMU was a powerhouse. So they pretty much owned North Texas.
Best team money could buy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Oni Kuna, I
Nick,
to tell you something. You're fixing to use right now. You can see, the argument over the SEC's this conference. No, it's not. You're witnessing it right now. Look at the top 7 teams. Okay, you're fixing to see a round robin tournament. SEC teams canceling each other out.
Well, that's just
There's
SEC
not another
bias.
there's not another conference that does, and you're going to see it right now. You're seeing it action.
What's happening now?
The top 16
Elimination.
It's
like
elimination.
7 out of the top 8 are SEC teams.
It's a round robin tournament, and the SEC's fixing to cancel each other out, which no other conference does that. There's
the
no
only other
I think
couple.
we all-
The only
hang
other
on,
2
hang on.
teams are
Let's
Big
follow-
10 teams.
If I may, can we pump the brakes on that a little bit? We're year 1 into this thing. I don't think anyone has any clue right now what they're going to do when they finally have to select 12 teams for this thing. I think I do think people jump the gun a little bit, because if you ask me right now, it's like, it's going to be a lot easier for this committee on some level. Just like, all right, you're taking the top 4 conference champions. That makes it easy. The job is done for them there. They pick a group of 5. So they got to pick 7 teams, and it's going to be like basic eye test. Okay, Alabama looks good, or if let's say Georgia wins the SEC, they're in. Alabama looks good still. Tennessee looks good still. I mean, the problem is, like, there are certain programs who have garbage schedules compared to other teams. Like, it's the schedules are so mismatched and overloaded on one side to the other. Like, I think the teams who have the toughest schedules, like off the top of my head, the 2 teams that are serious contenders, Georgia and Bama, have legit schedules that are at the near top. Tennessee is solid. Missouri's schedule is kind of garbage. Ole Miss has a solid schedule.
No.
Ole Miss? No.
No, they do not.
No, they don't.
They play
Ole Miss,
Georgia. Don't they play Georgia?
They play Georgia and
At home.
Yeah, one game does not a schedule make.
Okay,
No.
all right. Maybe I'm misremembering there, but like,
No,
See,
you're
yeah,
not
they're terrible.
misremembering.
so Ole
The
Miss,
They are
schedule's terrible.
like that's the problem is like the schedule. I'm trying to do this from memory. Texas schedule is not that good when you really
No.
break it down. I think if they drop a few games, they might be in trouble
Yes.
because they have to beat Georgia, in my opinion. Like beating us, like it's like I don't know how good we're going to be this year at this point. Like beating us might count for something, but they got to beat Georgia because beating Michigan, Michigan's lucky to go 6-6 this year. So
I would agree with that. I would
Like,
definitely agree with that.
But
like Tulane might be a better win than Michigan for us. I'm just saying there is a possibility of that happening.
Tulane is no joke. Now, Michigan don't have no offense. Good
So
Lord.
so what I'm saying here is this.
Yeah.
It's like you're right about the cannibalizing things, but I still think you're getting at minimum 4 teams from the SEC at this point.
this 12-team playoff has not changed anything. It's going to be still the same argument. It has not fixed anything. You're still
you're
going to
right.
have teams. You're still going. For example,
You mean we're going to argue over what teams get in? Of course we were going to have those arguments.
And I'll tell you the one that's
13th
coming.
pitch.
I'm telling you the one that's coming. Let's say NIU don't win their conference, the MAC. Let's say they go 11-1 and don't win it for whatever. And
Well, they're
Notre Dame gets in. Now, what's NIU saying? You see, it doesn't matter. It hasn't fixed a thing.
Oh yeah, there'll be people mad, but this playoff was never built for the little guy. It was they're contractually obligated to have one in so they can get the thing approved by everybody. That's all it is.
Yeah. It has
Like
not solved
they want
anything.
to put this is a TV product. They want to put as many
Yep.
they want to put as many recognizable helmets
There you go.
on that bracket as they can. I
There
don't
you
deny
go.
that at all.
There you
Which
go.
is
Guess
why
what, dude?
Which is why I could argue if Texas loses 2 games and one of them's to Georgia, I think they should be in trouble. But they're not going to be because they're Texas. So you know what I mean? If Texas like goes 10-2, doesn't win the SEC, even if they lose to Georgia, they'll still probably get in. So
Yeah, unless Alabama goes 10-2.
like I think the problem, like the Big Ten, man, the big like having Michigan suck right now. Wisconsin's not good. You can't count on Penn State for anything. You're hoping Oregon like has gotten over whatever little hiccups they've had. Like USC is gonna beat Michigan like a drum this weekend, and they're gonna treat them like a world beater. I know they are, because I know how this works. Because they still don't, the media still doesn't want to admit Michigan's really awful, especially the bought and paid for members of the media, because there's so many Michigan plants all across ESPN and Fox. They refuse to give up on Michigan yet. It has to like really hit bottom of the barrel before they actually.
They the top 3 or top 2 fan bases?
Yeah, exactly. Because they will talk about and Michigan's going to get talked about the week of the Ohio State game because that's when the allegations are going to be officially dropped. That's when that's coming. So it's going to be hilarious.
That should be, dude.
Who's throwing up? BVD, you throwing up?
Yeah, he's got sick. Bless his heart.
Oh man, where's the mute button at?
He's hearing me talk too much. That's what's making him vomit. I had that effect on people.
No, you were actually masking it well. So continue.
Man, South Alabama's up 21-0 on App State.
Man, I was looking at.
Oh God, there are games happening. I forgot.
Yep.
What is
South Alabama was not picked by anybody.
Yep.
I love that their initials are USA. It's the USA.
They got South Alabama has gotten destroyed. I think the first 2 games.
I forgot who their coach
destroyed
is.
in the first game. They
got crushed by Clemson, which is not shocking, but at the same time, it's like, oh, good for Clemson, I guess.
Who's South Alabama's coach? I forgot who it is.
I couldn't.
It's somebody well known.
Well, I wouldn't doubt, a retread, but
who's playing
I
in the league?
Billy, other than seeing the
Jets and Pats
score,
Prime Video.
South Alabama's coach.
Who he is?
Fairchild Mitchell. So
who's playing tomorrow night? Let's see what we got here. Right. Oh yeah, Illinois, Nebraska's tomorrow night. That'll be fun to watch.
Oh, that'll be a good game.
I think that's gonna be bloody.
Stanford, Syracuse. Okay. So yeah, I'll be watching Fox tomorrow night. Fun times. Who we got? So what are you? Oh, I guess I'm more of a sadist. I'm sadistic. I'm gonna watch Florida, Mississippi State at noon on Saturday. That's gonna be. That's literally watching a toddler fight.
Yeah,
here
they
you go.
missed their mark not putting that game at 10 o'clock on Nick Jr.
South Alabama's coach is Major Applewhite. He'll be a D1 coach one day.
Yep.
He's
Florida versus Mississippi State is like a toddler trying to put on a turtleneck sweater by themselves. It's just going to be entertainment. I put on my own clothes. Just can't get it on. They're putting their head through the sleeve. It's just going to be a nightmare. What else is going on? Any other games?
There's not really that many great games Saturday when you get down to it,
Oklahoma State, Utah. That was going to be a good one.
We got Penn State versus Kent State. We'll see if there's any trick onside kicks in that one. So we got USC and Michigan.
My apologies, folks. Didn't see that one coming. I thought earlier today was it, but my apologies. I didn't mean for you.
You don't have to apologize. I'm not.
You're
I
good,
have
brother.
different issues, but I have my moments. So believe me, I can attest.
Octavian,
it has something to do with this game, but unfortunately, it has nothing to do. I have no idea what's going on with me right now. Why I'm getting sick.
Well, when it hits, and you got to deal with it. So,
yeah,
it's hard, man. What they got you on, man? What the antibiotic?
It's just amoxicillin.
That's it.
That will upset you if you don't.
Yeah.
If you don't eat. If you do not eat, it will bother you.
You need to eat that. You
I
need to take that with food.
I took that at 6:30 this morning.
That's the pink bubblegum antibiotic.
No, it's a big fat white horse pill.
Oh, That's that version. Okay.
Are you on 850s?
Huh?
Are they 850s?
Fuck, I don't know. It's just a big pill is all I know. The exact pill is, it probably is. I'm supposed to be allergic to penicillin, which amoxicillin obviously is in the psyllin family. And what's up, Wolverine? It's in the same family.
Right.
But they told me at the pharmacy last Thursday, if I have any issues, let them know. I've had no issues with it, so I don't know if it's just something different or.
Let them know and let your doctor know. Because something's going on.
I don't see him for another month.
Well, I mean, you can still work with the pharmacy because that I take the 850 amoxicillin when I get sinus infections, and I get them regularly because I'm allergic to every dead gum piece of pollen that floats through the damn air. So,
right.
And if you don't eat, it will wreck you. Promise.
Mm.
So,
well, I mean, like I said, I took it at 6:30 this morning. I haven't had any nausea issues with it up to this point that I'm aware of.
So, only before we leave here, because I
Go ahead.
we need a no trolling, no BS. If you had to put $1,000 on the score,
where's the fun in not trolling?
Yeah, well, honestly, what's the score going to be? What's the score?
What's the score? The score is it's where the points are placed.
No. On this game Saturday, I want to hear a no
That's
BS.
What the score is. It's
if
where
you
the
had
point.
To put
You're not going to get that from Tim, Billy.
It's the points that people can see which team has whatever.
So, whoever has more of those at the end of the game.
Exactly.
Come on,
I think personally, my personal analysis is I think on Saturday, 2 teams between Oklahoma and Tennessee are going to play football. Just
And
a
one's gonna
just
win.
A thought. Just
And
a
one will
thought. Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
One's gonna win.
Exactly.
Now, you
I'll tell you
both may
what,
be wrong.
I'll go on record, and I'm not trolling.
Do it, Billy.
I'm not trolling. 42-10.
How much?
Oklahoma scoring
42-10.
42 points. Wow.
Yeah, right. 108th total offense
You
team in the nation.
listen. As much as I'm having
108.
fun right now, I'm having fun right now. But you ain't scoring 42 points.
Now
I'll
the
say.
question is, how do they score those 10 points? Is it
You
5
ain't scoring
safeties?
42 points. I'm just telling
You
you the
watch
truth
what
right
happens.
But what if we do?
Load the box and see what happens, and then spread them out and see what
If
happens.
you think you're going to score 42 points on that defense, you are
They will.
smoking crack.
Oh, it's
They
gonna be a
will.
great
You're
chess
probably
match.
listen.
That's
I'll
gonna
tell
be
you
the
straight
greatest
up.
chess
You're
match.
probably winning that game. No troll. But it's like you ain't scoring 42 points. I can promise you that. Our
Hey, it could
ineptitude,
be-
our ineptitude on
42 to
offense is what's
35
going.
game, you know.
Our ineptitude on offense is the reason
Yeah.
why we're not winning that game. So
And
it's
that's what I say. Y'all are dinged up pretty bad.
yeah. So, but like you ain't scoring 42.
Oh, sure. Sure they will.
No, you're not.
Hypo's,
probably-
Hypo's-
You know what? Honestly, it'll be something like 28-21, 28-24. That's what it's
No.
going to be. You'll win.
You will not
Because-
score
Here's
24
why I say that.
you ain't
Because-
scoring 27 points.
No,
I never said we scoring 27 points.
they ain't
Or
scoring
21.
either.
No,
They ain't
here's
gonna score
here's your big problem. If you get a regular football bettor, just take both of our emotions out of it. You're a 7.5 point road favorite at Oklahoma. People stay in the like there is way too much money on Tennessee to cover that spread. Way too much. It's like Vegas wants people. Vegas is begging people to bet Tennessee. So you'll win the game probably, but you ain't going to cover that spread. I'm going to tell you that right now. That defense will keep us in the football game. And
I know.
because here's the thing. Here's one thing I will say, and this is something I said like somewhere this week, but I've lost count how many times in the past where Oklahoma was the big high-powered offense and they were going into a big game. And oh my God, how do you stop this Oklahoma? How do you stop this offense? Oh my God, what are you going to do? And then they can't do anything for whatever reason against a quote unquote inferior team. How many times that's happened to us at times? Well, guess what? Maybe it's our turn to be the team that screws with the big high powered offense and ruins their season early or gets them out of funk. Because let's face it, this will be the biggest test Nico has played against so far, without
No.
question.
Not
Without question.
necessarily.
No.
Iowa was pretty good.
No,
Don't Iowa.
they had
Spare
the
me,
best. They had the best defense
Fair.
in the Big
Iowa
Ten.
playoff team, sir.
Spare me, Iowa.
Iowa playoff team,
Their
sir.
defense was higher rated than Oklahoma.
Oh, please. Their offense is worse than ours.
Yeah, but why does that matter when you're talking about defense?
Yeah, but
But-
we're talking
but-
about
but- but
we
we
had
had a
about
defense,
Iowa.
But we had a true freshman playing.
Oklahoma's defense, friggin' Iowa's defense don't matter because their offense sucks. That's
No.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that fucking reasoning either.
Where were they ranked in the Big Ten? Right
They're
there at the
Big
top.
The Big Ten, like Iowa.
But he didn't. That true freshman didn't have a problem, did he?
Yeah. Iowa's like built, dude. That's a Big Ten built team. It's a whole different story. This is a Brent Venables defense. This is legit. Like we have arguably the best linebacker in the SEC. Like we are going to have moments where we shut down your run. And
He's
Nico is not
better than
perfect.
Sealy.
Nico is not perfect. He will make mistakes. He will go up against a defense that will force mistakes out of it. And don't worry, Nico's going to make some nice throws. He's going to make some plays. I promise you that. But he's not going to have his way with this team. That is not happening.
Do you trust
So-
Jackson Arnold behind that offensive
To be
line?
seen.
I don't trust the offensive line. I trust Jackson Arnold to an extent. The problem is the offensive line. Like, we don't have the playmakers consistently to stretch the field right now. We just don't. So, like, if we're going to keep in this football game, it's creating short fields, some special teams plays. It's going to, that's what's going to take. But so if we're going to win the game, like, the offense has to find a way to stretch the field. I don't know if Nick Anderson comes back and he is able to take away some defenders away from like Deion Burks, and Deion Burks is able to do some stuff. Great. But what I'm telling you right now is like defensively, we will hold our own. You'll win the football game more than likely at the end of the day, and we'll keep it decently close. But we're going to be put in a position where the offense has to make a bunch of big plays, and we just don't have the consistent firepower right now. We just don't have the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball where we can like impose our will. We just don't have that right now. So you'll win a game that's close, but you guys being a 7.5 road favorite at at our place is like Vegas is begging people to bet you guys. So I know a lot of y'all think it's going to be a blowout. It will not be a blowout. You'll win, but it'll be closer than the quote unquote experts think.
Okay, next week when you come back on here, I want to hear you say, "Man, it was a blowout."
If it is, it is. I don't run. I don't run the fuck away from shit. If we get our asses kicked, we get our asses kicked.
I just think you're underestimating Tennessee's offense.
I am not underestimating your offense. I'm giving you guys all the credit in the world. I'm just think you're underestimating our defense and not giving them enough credit.
That's the only thing that scares me. The only thing that scares
Nico,
me.
I said Nico's going to make plays. He is going Nico can make throws Nico can make throws that are scary. He's special. I will sit here and tell you that all day long.
I think a lot of this is going to depend on how well Oklahoma shuts down the run game.
Yeah, I think that's a big key because we're one of the better run defenses in the country right now. Like Denny Stutzman leads the conference or leads the nation with like run stoppages. Like that dude is a literal general of our defense on the field. He knows how to put guys in the right position. Like we have depth on the defensive line for the first time in years. We will have our moments where we will stuff you guys. We will try to make you one-dimensional. We're going to have some confusing blitz packages for you. We're going to have our moments on defense where the crowd keeps this team in the game. There's going to be some oh shit moments for Tennessee. But again, I don't think in the second half the defense will wear down just enough where you're going to make your plays. And
what over here in the comments, this is what homegrown Cowboy just said. Oklahoma has no depth at all, Sean. Whoever
no depth at all. What the fuck does that mean? No depth at all.
Offensive line
to instigate this.
That's one fucking position. You're saying no depth at all at anything. We have depth on defense. I promise you that.
To instigate this, homegrown Cowboy is a Texas fan. So do it that info.
Of course. They think Arch Manning's going to win the Heisman because he beat up on some junior varsity school in UTSA. Like they stole their one decent player, and now he got benched for another guy. He got benched for Colin Simmons.
I hear what you're saying, but when a quarterback still throws 5 touchdowns, I don't care who it's against. I mean,
okay, he's going to throw 5 touchdowns. He doesn't.
No.
He hasn't thrown 5. Has he thrown 5 touchdowns yet this year?
I think that's what he threw. That's what he threw against UTSA the other day.
Oh, you're talking about Arch?
Yeah.
You're talking about Nico for a second. Like you guys have been a balanced offense for the most part. You guys have run the ball a lot more than you have thrown it, honestly.
Yeah, we're more of a running team.
We do run the ball. We are a running team.
Like, you don't depend on Nico to carry you.
No.
Like that's what makes you a potent offense. It's like, all right, we can run the ball, we can pass the ball. But at the same time, it's like you take away one aspect of the game and see how Nico has made mistakes. He still makes young mistakes, and that's when we have to take advantage of that.
Harry's heard me say this before, that the difference in this team this year and in past is we've had no depth. No depth. Now on defense, the front 7 is rotating 2 and 3 out at each position.
And the thing that's going to kill us is the one area that we would potentially try to expose your secondary. We can't stretch the field, so it's not really going to matter if we can't do that consistently. We can't test your secondary.
Squid Tard, do you want to answer him that on that? Well, I've heard that all year about Tennessee's secondary. You want to take care
You
of
have a white guy in your secondary. Come on now.
You got to
all I'm going to say is that ever since Nico started,
unless it's Jason Sehorn Jr. or whatever.
All I'm going to say is that for the past 4 games, every single game that Nico started in, Tennessee's defense has held every single offense they've played scoreless. So do with that info.
No TDs.
Exactly.
No
0.
TD.
Nada.
NC State got a field goal.
Well,
Yeah, it's
field goal-
28 to nothing.
I said touchdowns.
Yeah.
You said scoreless.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
No TDs.
Who cares?
In
Yeah,
16 quarters.
No TDs. So that'll end this week.
So Oni Kuno and VVD knows this, Harry knows this, and people that and Sean and who else is in there?
Well, if we all do it,
Last year, Hypo got rid of about 5 DBs, told them to walk.
we
7.
got rid of all of them.
Well, we got all of them. I thought it was about 5.
The whole secondary.
Yeah.
And more left because he's seen what was coming in. You should see what has come in from the transfer portal.
Yeah, Jermon McCoy he's a beast, bro.
And then
Is
Boo Carter
Bru-
right here from Cleveland.
Is Brew McCoy still on his 9th year of eligibility?
Yes, he is. He's working on
Yeah.
his second master's degree.
He gets an extra year every game.
He's working on his second master's degree.
Shoot, he
All right.
have multiple
We're going
documents.
to go around the room and give our closing thoughts. All right, we'll start with you. Well, Sean, you had your closing thoughts. Harry?
Oh, me? Good luck to everybody this weekend. I hope there are no injuries.
No injuries.
May the
Right.
better team win. I get to spectate what I'm going to get to watch. I don't know how this weekend's going to play out yet. So I don't know how much of it I'm going to get to watch, which, it happens. So family comes first. But anyway, enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me. And y'all have a great evening.
Good night, Harry.
You as well,
Good
Harry.
night.
Let's go with Squidtard.
I just wanted to ask Sean, has that blindfold come in the mail yet?
What?
Oh, I was asking you, has the blindfold come in the mail yet? It should have been sent today. It's going to prepare you.
What?
You heard what I said. Just be ready to wear it on Saturday.
What?
Yep. All right. Have a good day, all.
A blindfold?
Later,
What
Squid.
is that? What the fuck does that even mean?
He's got blinders on.
I'm pretty sure it means.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is
Really?
that is awful. You should feel bad for making a joke like that. Like nobody says that. A blindfold? That's
don't know.
terrible. You should feel bad. You should write a handwritten apology to everyone here today. Just awful. Just straight up awful.
Billy?
Well, I'm going out of limb, out of my realm. I'm considering what Oklahoma's offense is and their injuries. I'm staying with 42-10.
All right. Fair enough.
42-10. You're in for
I
a
don't
rude
see them
awakening.
scoring on Tennessee. Not the
You're in for a
108th,
you in love with this 42-10. You're in for a rude awakening.
108th offense in the country.
You're saying you're going to score 42 on our defense. You're in for a
Yep.
rude awakening.
You're going to go,
A
oh my God,
rude
they
awakening.
are for real. They are
40.
for real.
That he might say. I don't know about 42-10, but I think he'll be saying, maybe they're a little
That
bit
kid's
off.
pretty good. Yeah, he's a reason he was a 5-star number 1 coming out of California with an $8 million salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy, have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
But yeah.
Good night, Oklahoma. Good night, Sean. Balls for life.
Wolverine!
What's up?
Any closing thoughts?
Well, I guess just go Vols and I guess beat the hell out of Oklahoma.
That'll work.
All right,
Thank
yeah.
you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. Love you, man.
You love you too. We'll talk to you later.
See you, man.
See ya. That's going to wrap it up for this Thursday night. And, 2 days left. The countdown began back in June or earlier than that, for all I know. But hope you guys have a great night, Great show. Thank you guys all for joining in tonight. Philip, all of you, thank you. Very spirited conversation tonight, which should make you all want to go hug your mom and daddy. Love you, mean it. Go Vols. You know the rest.